Welcome to the Kobe Bryant Film Room. In this episode of the Kobe Bryant Film Room, I'm going to be reacting to Obliterating the Shaq Carried Kobe narrative, part one of the Case for Kobe Bryant video, as the GOAT video, right? And I think he did a real good job in breaking this down because a lot of people want to claim that Shaq carried Kobe or Kobe was a quote unquote sidekick, right? But without further ado, let's get into it. So this says, it was a year there in '03 when I had 40 points in 9 straight games. Shaq was out. Phil comes to me before the stretch and says, Kobe, we need you to take over the offense. I'm like, cool, I got it. That literally started the streak. Shaq comes back from injury. I still continue to do it. Phil calls me to the office, goes, hey, we're starting to lose the big fella. He's not getting the attention. This 40-point streak is starting kind of take away his fire. I need you to dial back. A lot of times Phil did that. I think Phil held Kobe back. I don't know if he intentionally did it, but he held Kobe back from breaking a lot of records. I guess he felt like it was best for the team, which it could have been, but it also set Kobe back from creating history, right? As an individual. Because he was hotter than fish grease.
This is what Shaquille O'Neal did in conference finals away games while he was with the Orlando Magic.
So y'all see, right? The conference finals away games. Y'all see all those losses, right? Y'all see who he played and all those losses.
Before Kobe. Notice there are no wins there. Okay? Conference finals away games. Okay? This is 2 different conference finals. You notice there are no wins there. And this is what Shaquille O'Neal did in NBA finals away games. 2 losses. Again with the Orlando Magic. 2 losses. So what is that? 0-8.
And just to show you why this is significant and what he's saying is because in order to be a champion, you have to win on the road. In order to have playoff success, you have to win mainly on the road. You have to be able to close out games. And what he's showing is Shaq's phenomenal for three quarters. But it's hard for him to close out games because 1, he's not a shooter, right? He's a bad free throw shooter. And then 2, he's always in foul trouble.
Right. These are NBA Finals away games while he was with the Miami Heat. Okay? Now, there's a win there. There's a victory there. Okay? So, the Miami Heat beat the Dallas Mavericks at Dallas. Shaquille O'Neal scored 9 points. So obviously he was not the leading scorer in that game. Okay, so what is that? Well, God, that's 1 in 10.
Exactly. And it's no surprise that when he got with the greatest closer in the game, he started winning more of those playoff games, right? Towards those series, Kobe led the Lakers in 4th quarter scoring. Not only did he lead the Lakers in 4th quarter scoring, guys, he led the league in 4th quarter scoring, right? So Kobe was significant in helping Shaq get over the hump, right? Without Kobe, I don't think Shaq would have won a championship. Because remember, he had Eddie Jones. They won like 60-something games. He had Eddie Jones and Nick Van Exel, 2 All-Stars. But the problem was, remember, when Kobe came in, they asked Kobe to close. And he was a young kid. But Kobe, like Robert Ory went over this on the podcast. He said Kobe was hot that game, right, against Utah. That's why they trusted him so much. And the other guys shied away from that moment. Kobe never shied away from that moment.
Okay. And here are the conference finals while he was with the Miami Heat. 2 victories there. Okay? 2 victories, 4 losses. And the best game he played was a win against the Detroit Pistons. He scored 24 points. He was not the leading scorer. Here are his conference finals away.
So this is telling, right? Because a lot of people try to overrate Shaq's impact as a player, right? If your play is not impacting the win column, where should we? I mean, how do we judge these things? You have to impact winning, right? And so to say that, oh, he's this, he's that, yeah, Shaq was all-time dominant, right? But he wasn't. How you should look at ranking players is who can close. Closing is a big part of how you can be in the top 10. You got to be able to close games.
Games with the Los Angeles Lakers. 2 losses. Okay?
That's significant.
Shaquille O'Neal has, in his entire career, did not lead a team to a conference final or NBA finals away victory unless he was playing with Kobe Bryant during his prime.
Y'all hear that?
Unless he was playing with a prime Kobe Bryant, Shaquille O'Neal did not put a team on his back and lead a team in scoring.
Which is why, that's a great point he just made, which is why Shaq always called Kobe the best player in the world. Shaq never claimed to be the best. He claimed to be the most dominant. But he knew, even Shaq said this, I couldn't shoot free throws. I could not close games. I can't be the best player. Kobe could do it all. That's why Shaq considered Kobe the best player in the world. And I think after they beat the Spurs, Shaq said Kobe is the best player on all 9 planets. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was the Spurs.
The team to victory in an away game. Conference
and
final.
We're not trying to overhype Kobe. This is a fact.
NBA finals. Did not do it. Okay? His record is something like, what, 3-15?
It's crazy.
Okay? Best he ever did, 24 points. Okay? I tried to explain to a bozo on Twitter that when you have a team sport, there is a dynamic wherein you have very sensitive egos. Shaquille O'Neal was a young man at the time. And sometimes you have to give each player their flowers or their space in order to maintain the psychological balance on the team. It must have been very difficult to be the most physically dominant player in NBA history and in your prime, and you look up and you're not even the best player on your team.
And that's a fact because, like, look, check this out. When Wade first came to Miami, right, he had to take a seat back to let LeBron shine, right? You have to feed into egos sometimes, yo, in order to have the success of your team. So, Kobe allowed Shaq, the offense to run through Shaq, even though Kobe was making history, putting up Michael Jordan numbers, right? But in my opinion, in his opinion, Kobe Bryant was the best player on the team. Now, a lot of people ain't gonna understand that because they're stat nerds, right? They're gonna look at the overall impact and numbers of dominance Shaq posed. Shaq had numbers, but the greatest players in the world close games, y'all. They close games. They're the best defenders, right? They're the best offensive player, right? And they're the best closers. That's how we should look at it.
Must have been psychologically devastating. So, if you're Phil Jackson and you're Kobe Bryant and you don't want to lose the big fella, what do? You make sure he's the number one option. And when you're playing Rick Smits or who is it, Theo Ratliff, or what Dikembe Mutombo, I'm sorry, or who is the net center, Kenyon Martin. You feed the big fella win that Finals MVP. But Shaq was not the best player on that team. He just wasn't. Love Shaq. Okay? I've got him number 5, I believe. My all-time centers. Okay?
And that's the thing. Shaq was incredible, right? As a player, Shaq was a monster. But I think a lot of people got to understand this, right? Is that he could not hit free throws. When you can't hit free throws, that's a major hole in your game. And then you can't stay on the floor in the fourth quarter. You're usually in foul trouble, right? You're showing up out of shape, right? Now, those things hurt you in the long run because now you're getting wear and tear, right? You can't close games being a bad free throw shooter. And so it's hard for you to stay on the court when teams are literally implementing hack-a-Shaq tactics to you have to remove Shaq off the court. You can't have him missing all these free throws.
But
And so here you got a lot of times when you go watch those playoff games that were close, Kobe closed those games, y'all. And he was guarding the best perimeter defenders. I mean, offensive players.
he was not the best player on that team. Okay? He just wasn't.
And that's going to do it for part 1, obliterating the Shaq carried Kobe narrative done by the Case for Kobe Bryant as the GOAT. Fantastic video. Couldn't have said it better myself. Everything isn't about numbers and stats. It's how you play the game and your approach to the game. It's your mentality and how you approach certain matchups. Kobe was smart enough to realize I have the most dominant big man in the game. I'm not going to win Finals MVP because I need to get the ball down low. Any basketball player, LeBron would have did it. Mike would have did it. Any basketball player with common sense, even though they felt they're the better player, would have let Shaq eat. Yeah, go ahead. You think Michael Jordan isn't a better basketball player than Shaq? Yeah, Shaq, go eat. You know what I'm saying? Go eat, bro. LeBron says, hey, Shaq, eat, bro. I'm going to be on the wing if you need me. I'm going to close these games out. But, bro, that doesn't mean Kobe wasn't a better player. And I think you get that, people get that confused because the guy puts up he stats the box score, right? It's not about the numbers, y'all. It's about the impact, right? It's about the impact plus the ability to score, defend, and play make, which Kobe does better, and close out games, which Kobe does better, right? This will do it for this episode of the Kobe Bryant Film Room, and I'll see you guys on the next episode.